of the things, if you're going to be a gospel artist, keep Jesus at the forefront. Allow
Mm.
Jesus to be like the head of everything, because it branches off from that to the music you sing, to the places you go, to the people that surround you, the people that are on your team. Like, I literally like, and God, please put the right people around me in my space. And there have been times where He's had to weed some people out, but it all came from me.
Coming live on your radio. What they want? That real and raw. How they get it? DJ Focus. What we doing? Making music, reaching the corner, and it's all for the kingdom. And we gon' make sure they know it. Ooh, 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 ooh. We gon' take it there. I like red letters over trap beats to fix it in. Ooh, DJ Focus, tell him turn you up. Ooh, DJ Focus, tell him turn you up. Ooh.
Yes, sir. Welcome back, DJ Focus, Dice Gamble. You're tapping into the Fixx, your number one source of faith-infused hip-hop, R&B, and poetry. It's time for our spiritual detox, and we got another gospel legend on. When I tell you, these singing powerhouses, they just sing their way into just, a whole nother atmosphere. I mean, you might have saw them, take care of some light work a few years ago back on Sunday's Best. And ever since then, let's be very clear, he has been, a gospel Billboard chart-topping artist. Oh, he got some Stellas and a Dove to talk about, too, as well right now. The one and only Melvin Crispell III. What's going on, brother?
What's going on, my people? Listen, thank y'all for having me today.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Yeah. So, man, we got a lot to talk about, a little time. First, man, take the people back, man. Talk a little bit about your faith journey, man, and kind of how that shaped who you are as a believer, as an artist, and everything you do.
Yeah, man. Well, I really grew up in church. I'm a church boy. I've been going to church forever, literally. And of course, growing up as that kind of kid, you kind of lose, as you get older, you lose that sense of, well, is this really real, or was this just a system? And then, I think I was around maybe 11 or 12 years old where I really experienced the presence of God for myself. And that really changed my whole life around. And so that added with music, I was born into a musical family. My dad was a renowned musician and songwriter, my mom as well. That's really how I got my start in creating who I am. And so I would sing at church, the children's choir. Sometimes they would draft me to sing with the youth choir when I was a kid. I would do different plays and different things. And that's really how I got my foundation, just being who I am.
That's awesome. Listen, you have a knack for making things modern. Gospel
Thank you.
favorites, you're welcome, adding spins to it. Has that always been a part of you, or did something happen where you were like, you know what? I think I can do it like this.
Well, so no, it hasn't always been a thing.
Okay.
So Sunday Best, when like we were getting towards the end, they gave us what they called a gospel wish list. What two songs would you want to do on the show if you could pick? So I picked a song by Miranda Curtis, and the other song I picked, which I knew they were just not gonna do, was "Wonderful Is Your Name," which was a song that's choir song, Hezekiah Walker. It was written by my dad, and I was like, let's just throw it in there. I know it's not gonna be. And when they chose it, I was like floored, like completely floored. And so that was really the catalyst of, kind of taking this old school situation and modernizing it to where kids my age and younger could even, join in. And so when we did that, I didn't know the impact that it would have. And so to see that, I was like, okay, what more can we do? So that's kind of became a thing.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
With that being said, thanks for sharing that.
absolutely.
You do have a unique style. What has kept you over here in this space? Let's be very clear, because you could probably go over and do things on the main side, do R&B, neo soul if you wanted to. What has kept you over here in this gospel space?
Yeah, man. Well, this gospel industry nowadays is about so many things. But for me, it's always been about Jesus. It's always been about doing everything I can to make him proud of me. I remember how he, I remember how he saved me, how he literally came and like pulled me out of such a dark place. And it was gospel music that really helped keep me going. And so I can't turn my back on that. You know, yes, though it would be probably fun to cross over to do different things, which eventually I want to, you know, try
Yeah.
someday, but not for the sake of I'm leaving, but you know, just sake of music because I just love music. But no, I can't turn my back on gospel music. That is my heart, and I really want to see this world follow Christ. And whatever I got to do, however the Lord wants to use me to do it, I'm available. So yeah,
Listen, Focus was thank you for that. Focus was talking
absolutely.
about your awards, man. Like you have been getting award after award after award after award, and well deserved. But what
Thank you.
is you're welcome. What does being recognized by your community really mean to you?
It means a lot to me. I faced a lot of like ups and downs. I faced a lot of no's when it came to certain things, and to be able to see the fruit of the labor, like literally, never would have thought I would win these awards so soon.
Wow.
But it's an absolute honor to be recognized in that light. You know, and even everyone that had a hand in these projects, like I feel like amazing for them as well, because it's like y'all won too because we all,
Yeah.
we all did this thing together. Um, so you know, I'm super grateful. I can't wait to see what is next and what other awards come about. And I'm just grateful to be here. Yeah,
What role does prayer and meditation play in your creative process? Because I do feel like your songs, like there's an anointing that comes off, at least
yeah.
when I receive it and I hear it. So what role
Mhm.
does that play in your creative process, prayer and meditation?
That's just one of the most important roles. You know, we have to. My thing is, I always ask God, like, okay, I know we're making plans here. We're trying to make this happen, but what do you want to hear? Like, what message do you want people to hear? Like, what are you saying? And so it doesn't always come as clear for me as others, but I literally have to, you know, just pray and trust that God will lead me like God is. God is was one of the last songs to make it to the record, and I was just like, I don't know, when we're gonna, and the impact that it has on the world even today is something that I would have never expected. But it was that praying like God, send these songs, like send the people, send the ideas, and that's how it is for me with everything I do. So it's that trust with God. I think that's most important. Yeah,
That's good. Hey, you brought up Covered Volume 1.
yeah.
6 fire tracks. Yeah,
Thank you.
full of hope and praise. Yeah. Like listen, man, what were some of your favorite collaborations on this project?
Well, working with the one and only Dana Saray and his team was incredible. Even all the musicians that he got to fill in, like I can't remember everybody's name. I have one of the worst memories ever. But you know, I've recognized so many of these. Like, oh, this is the guy that played on this song. I grew up to this. Like to be able to have that, you know, a part of this record was absolutely incredible. You know, I was honored to be able to do it. A lot of people say, you know, oh, you did it because you want to do this, you want to make this off of this, and no, I really wanted to do this album and the next volume of Covered to really just pay tribute to these artists because these artists have really helped pull me out of some places that I went through a lot as a kid. And so, like I said, gospel music was it for me. Like I remember listening to these songs and like even as a kid in tears, like, oh my gosh, like this is what I want to do. This is the message. This is how I want to make people feel. And so I just wanted to put my own spin on it and relay it to people how it was relayed to me. So that was my favorite part about it, like just being able to do that.
It was super dope. We
Mm,
thank you for
Thank
doing
you.
that.
come on
I
now.
do
Absolutely.
want to ask you too as well. So you said something in the midst of that. You said,
Hmm.
you had some critics questioning why you were doing this cover.
Yeah.
How do you respond back to, criticism when somebody might say something to you out of pocket? Let's be very clear. I'm pretty sure probably you humbled. You said it the nice way. How do you respond back to that? And I'm pretty sure it's probably somebody in who says they're a believer in our space. And
Absolutely.
so just talk about that and just how we deal with these challenges when criticism comes for people questioning what God is telling you to do.
Um, literally, you I've learned growing up. I'm still learning, still a lot to learn, but just you can't let what is life without those problems and those comments? What is this journey without all of that? So there's I always expect some type of comment or something from somewhere. But how you respond to it, me personally, I give you the truth. If you have something to say, I give you the truth. If you don't believe it from there, well, that's on you. I know the truth. Now, as far as the people, my close people and my family, they're a little, so I let them handle what they handle and I just stay out the way. But no, it's really about giving them the truth, because some people really don't know. Some people have experienced other gospel artists doing these things for these reasons. So like, I can't fully blame them, but sometimes you can keep it to yourself. But I get it, and I want to change the stigma or the stereotype of what a gospel artist is. I've heard so many people say, I thought you were so mean. I thought you were so this. I thought you were so that, until they met me. And like, oh my God, you're one of the kindest people I've ever met. But that's because they're gospel artists who don't talk to people, who don't hug people, like who don't get to just be close to these people that come to see you, that think you are something when you're actually just human. And it's just like, we have to remember that. We are the same. I'm just leading you into my space of worship so you can have that experience with me. So who am I to not want to smile and take a picture with you, shake your hand and love on you? Like, who am I to do that? So I get it. I understand, but I'm here to change all of that. So
you are so humble. I appreciate just being able to have a conversation with you. Talk a little bit more about what keeps you humble. Like, do you have a favorite Bible verse? What's your spiritual regiment look like that keeps you solid like this? Because I feel like it's more you want to say, but God won't let you. And I think you being led by the Spirit.
Yeah. I mean, no, there's nothing super special like about, what it is. There's some places in my personal walk with God that I feel like I have to improve on, just like anybody else. But I think it's more of my foundation. My dad, was absolutely humble. As great as he was, he would walk into a room, and nobody would know he's there. And then they would all realize, wait, is that him? He's just
It's him.
sitting there in the back, and it's just like, that's how he was. And he always made sure that I was the same way. Humility is the key to so many different doors and successes. Like, and it's really about knowing who gave you this gift, like who it's all for, who we have to return this gift back to. And I was taught to never forget that. It's not about me. It's about me being a servant to people. It's about people giving the people the gospel of Jesus Christ. So that's why I remain humble, because it's not about me. I'm just a vessel. I'm just a servant. So, yeah, I don't know if I have a favorite Bible verse. There's so many to choose from. One of my favorites, it says, and they overcame by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony. That's one of my favorite verses, because, I think about all the things that I've been through and all the things that I go through. And I think about the people that I know that are going through stuff. And I keep, reminding them to go through it, like go through it with God. And at the end of it, you'll have a testimony that'll help bring somebody else out. And as you tell your testimony, the thing that you were about to fall into, you've already overcome. So it's just like, that's one of my favorites, because it gives me so much hope and peace about different situations. So, yeah, it's normal stuff.
No, that's good.
It's really good.
Thank you.
Listen, what's some advice you could give an aspiring gospel artist, somebody who, maybe they're on their journey right now and they're going through, but you've seen everything that they kind of will need to go through. Like, what should they keep around them? What should their attitude be? Like, what's some solid advice you could give them so they can keep going?
One of the things, if you're going to be a gospel artist, keep Jesus at the forefront. Allow Jesus to be like the head of everything, because it branches off from that to the music you sing, to the places you go, to the people that surround you, the people that are on your team. Like, I literally and God, please put the right people around me in my space. And there have been times where He's had to weed some people out, but it all came from me putting Him at the forefront. So do that. Remember what the gift that God has given you. Use it to its fullest extent. Don't lock yourself into one gift, because there's more inside of you than just a voice, or just a singer. There's more inside of you, and you have to really ask God to show you those things. Remain humble. That's one thing I always will tell you. You never know who's watching. You never know who you meet. You never know. Like, it could be somebody who can completely change your life. And yeah, just be who you are. Never stop. Never compromise. Who you are, and you'll get somewhere, I guess.
That's good.
Your family. Let's be very clear. You talked about your dad and your mom and just the
Yeah.
legacy. Like, does that ever get too much weight on you to kind of like still live up to what your dad has already done and your mom has already done?
It did for a while. It did. It changed for me maybe about a year and a half after Sunday Best was like over. It was a lot of pressure because one of the last impression songs that I did was "Wonderful Is Your Name," which was written by my dad, and so I was like, okay, I gotta go everywhere and just I hear every time I go somewhere, somebody, or at least 4 people are gonna say, "I knew your parents. You look just like your mom, your dad. You sound like your mom. You think like your dad." Like, yes, but who am I? um, but no, but I'm honored though to carry their legacy. I think it has become more of a privilege than a weight now. Just because their legacy was not just about music, but about love, about compassion, kindness. Like, every family has their thing, their struggles, whatever. But that's where their hearts were, and that's what I want to carry until the day I die. So, yeah.
All right.
Melvin, I have one more question.
Yes.
You've been very vocal on social media about things in the community,
Yes.
issues and cultural issues. You've definitely addressed some things with all of your platforms very openly. Is this important that gospel artists, learn to kind of speak up and use their platforms to address things, whether it's involving the church or just the gospel industry? And why do you feel the way you feel?
Yeah, I don't know exactly what you're referring to, but I know what you're referring to.
Okay,
So
okay.
I do.
Let's go.
So yes, I do think that artists need to be more vocal. Now, it is important. It is important to be mindful of what you say and how you say it. You just gotta think about certain things. You gotta think about other perspectives. You gotta think about people that may not know as much as you, or people who may know more than you. You have to think about all those different things. There was a situation where I made a comment about the differences between genres in gospel music, or whatever you want to call it. Like, why do we have gospel music, Christian music, when our focus is
Jesus.
okay? So is it a money thing? Because it's a money thing, right?
Yes.
And then the love of money is the root of all evil. So what exactly are we doing here? Yeah, it's just so many things to think about, and it's just like, I really want to. That's why I want to change being a gospel artist. I want to see the world come together and do this thing. Like, if money is the only thing we gotta figure something out. But yeah, no, but like I said, definitely, because if you don't say that, nobody's gonna
think about it.
Nobody's gonna say it. So it's just like, I want to, and I'm planning to be more vocal about certain things. I'm really shy at times, so I just feel like I could avoid it all and stay in my room. It's fine, but no, I definitely plan on speaking out about a lot more, because some things in this industry just have to change. They have to. Like, it's we can't keep going like this, and a lot of times it's us gospel artists who make it bad. Like, I have met some gospel artists who I was like my hero, excited to and it just was like, oh,
reality check.
Reality check. And so it's just like, well,
You're not alone.
I guess we'll just go home and think about what just happened. But yeah, so that's just me.
So
No,
good.
that's so good. And we'll be praying for you because yes,
Thank you.
we've seen some things too as well. Even us doing radio and doing red carpets and backstage events. You're absolutely right. Some of your greats or some of the people that you aspire and think that they cool, they ain't all that cool. So pray for them, and we pray that one day it gets right. Come on, let's talk about some of this music before we get you out of here. Now that's all we can do. I mean, at this point, because to your point, you brought up a very key point, Melvin, and I'm grateful you said that. One thing you said, you have to be mindful and watch how you even respond back to these things. Because if not, now we become like the world. If we get to bickering and gossiping about each other and slandering each other's name, we going against everything we preaching about. So
that's what I'm saying. So everybody's going down in flames.
I feel you. Like I can just go to my room. I ain't got to deal with none of it. Yeah. But come on. Before we get you out of here, talk about this new music. What you working on?
Well, new music. I'm planning on doing. I can't really talk about too much about it because it's still in the planning.
Yeah.
It's still in the planning phases, but we are
Shouts
definitely.
Out to your PR. Your PR is amazing.
Right. They'll be like, yeah, just like. No, but we are working towards some amazing things. There's definitely new music coming, so I will definitely say that. I'm still working through the part of what is it going to look like? How do I want to elevate from where I just was? And so, I think that takes, I think some of the best albums just take time. And so, I don't want it to be too long, of course, but, I just want to take a moment just to think about how I want to relay these new messages to people. Got a few ideas, but I just want to see which one works out best.
I love it. Who are you looking to work with on this next set?
That's what I was going to say too.
This next set project.
I said before that I wanted to work with everybody. There's so many artists that I have not worked with yet that I want to, even some of the secular artists I want to bring y'all over here. Come on. And
talk about that for me.
I've been saying it, Focus.
You don't work with a secular artist?
I've been saying it. Let's go.
Think about there's so many artists that have already worked with secular artists. Tasha Cobbs Leonard has already done a song with Nicki Minaj. Kiara Shear, Chandler Moore, and Kurt Franklin just did a song with Glorilla, right? It's little. I don't care if it's a grain of sand of Jesus that we give to those people, or that's a way into their audience.
Yeah.
To just put the idea of Jesus in their mind, even though they don't have to. Like, I'm going to church. I'm getting saved tomorrow. It don't have to be that. The seed of it is important to me because they could go through something traumatic that next week and remember Jesus in that moment and say, let me try.
Yeah.
That's good enough for me.
I love it.
That to say, yes, I do want to work with secular artists to some extent. And I don't know exactly how it's going to come about, but I want to work with Jasmine Sullivan one day. I definitely want to do that.
She's so dope.
That would be fire.
I would love to work with Brandy one day, and it's so many different people. But on the gospel side, I don't know if I can really say yet who it is that I'm thinking about. But I think it's gonna be dope. I think it's gonna be super dope.
Will you ever do a Christmas album?
Ooh.
I would do a Christmas album. Actually, December 22nd is my second annual Christmas concert. But it has me thinking about a Christmas album. I just don't want to be compromised in doing it how I view Christmas. So I have a great idea for a Christmas album, but we'll see how it goes.
Can you elaborate a little bit more on how you view Christmas? How do you view Christmas? What do we need to know?
Okay, so like I said, this is my second concert. The reason I started it, technically I'm starting it over. And my parents, when we moved to North Carolina in 2006, they started a concert called Christmas with the Crispells. It became one of the biggest events of the Christmas season, to where people would drive from different states, like packed houses every year. And so the way we did music and presented Christmas and presented Jesus was so out of the box. It was so like jazzy, but so inspirational. Like you wanted to cry, but you wanted to dance at the same time. You wanted to Everything was great. And so I want to try to recapture that sound for an album. I think that would be super dope, but it has to be modern, has to be, you know, to where the younger generation can pull on it and the older generation. I really want to bridge generations with everything I do. So, you know, that's what I'm thinking about.
So it sounds like to me you need to have your team reach out to the Roots and get the Roots to be the live band.
Okay. Well,
I'm just saying, if you want to keep it all the way funky, you want to, you know what I'm saying, give it that style, but also, you know, I'm just saying. And me and Dice are already on the plane. Listen, me and Dice are already on the plane on the way.
Bro, I'm telling you.
Very clear.
Yeah, we got. Listen, you need them red carpet hosts. Please call us. Please call us. Yeah. That's awesome.
It is. Listen, we appreciate you hanging out with us, Melvin, today, man. Come on and tell the people how they can connect with you, follow you on all your social media platforms, and introduce whatever song you want us to play for you today.
Yes. Well, you can follow me on Instagram and TikTok at the third Melvin Crispell, all spelled out. You can follow me on Facebook at Melvin Crispell III and head to melvincrispell.com to keep up with all things Melvin. You know, thank you guys so much for having me. You know, this is I was going to say my new song, but this is my song, God Is. I pray that everyone is blessed by it. Have an amazing and blessed day.
Keep it locked. You tuned into The Fixx.
And The Fixx is in.